Okay, this next graph or graphic organizer we like to create, we like to focus on one vocabulary word that means a lot, and it is the word federalism.
Josh McCannon to the office. Josh McCannon to the office.
All right. Federalism is our word. Federalism. Okay? And basically what this encompasses is dividing up our government. Dividing the government, or I'll write this in here. A couple of definitions. We'd call it the separation of powers. That's dividing, separation of powers. Another way you could say it, you could say limited government, limiting who is in charge of the government by putting basically more groups of people in charge of the government, but you're limiting the government. Separation of power. That's federalism. Okay, here is the first way we limit or separate our powers. Limit our government. First, all right, we'll do a different type of graphic organizer. We'll do a circle here. We'll do a circle here. And a circle here. All right, this is supposed to represent our entire government. And let's have the state powers over here. State powers. Okay, these are the 50 states. So I'm going to draw our whole country here. Let's see if I can draw the whole country. There you go. Our state powers are 50 states. They all have their own government. Each and every state has its own constitution. So in America, guess how many constitutions there are? There are 51 state constitutions and the federal government's constitution. 51 states, or 51 constitutions, excuse me. Okay, now we have this is the one that's going to confuse you a little bit because these words, our national government, or national powers. Now, there's two other words you can use in place of national. I'll put both of them here. I could have said our central powers, or I could have said our federal powers. So our federal government, our national government, and our central government, their national powers, come from, and you can probably guess this, the three branches. Remember we did this earlier? The three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. All right, that's their powers. Now, they also have, I'll write this short and sweet here, shared.
Coach Wright to the office. Coach Wright.
Shared powers. I wrote that kind of weird, but there you go. This is one way that our government is limited and separated. That's our first way. All right, the next way that our government is limited and separated is by what I call the upside down pyramid. You could also do it the other way, but here we go. I'm going to draw it for you. An upside down pyramid. This shows you how much power each group has. We'll have a group at the top, two in the middle, one at the bottom. We have first again, we'll use one of these words up here, our federal government. It has more power. The executive, legislative, judicial. It does have more power than the state government. It can do more, especially in a time of emergency. You want to have a strong government in a time of emergency. We go to war. Let's say the states don't want to go to war, but we're about to be attacked by China or something like that. The federal government needs to step in and make that decision. All right? Then we have the state. That's the 50 states. That's the states' governments. All right? This is another way it's divided. Then you get even smaller. You have county governments. In some places, they're not called counties, like in Louisiana where I'm from, they're called parishes. You don't have to know that. I'm going to put it in there for my sake. So they have county governments. And then you have, at the bottom, the smallest, you have local government. Local government. So this is how power is divided. National state, federal, states, county, and then local government. If you think about it, institutions like schools, they also have their own governments. At the beginning of the year, we handed you a handbook. In it, it told you the rules. It told you the rules you had to follow. It's kind of like a mini constitution. So there you go. Federalism is what we're talking about. Separation of powers, limited government, and this is how it's done.